Hey, what's up, Stringlings? Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new distortion pedal from Donner. It's called the Dark Horizon. Very cool pedal. Let's check it out. So if you're familiar with Donner, you know that they make really good mini pedals. This is one of my all-time favorite pedals, the Giant Metal Distortion. It's tiny. This is the Dark Horizon. By comparison, it's about the size of a regular pedal. This belongs to what Donner is calling their Vivid series, and it's a set of very cool designed pedals. If you take a look, you can see it's got this kind of crackle paint design on it, which is very funky, very cool. And yeah, it has all of the features that you expect from a Donner pedal. It's fully analog, it's a true bypass pedal, and yeah, and this time they didn't send picks, which is interesting. I was going to mention that usually we get lots of picks with these things, and I'm like awash with guitar picks coming from different companies, which is cool, but interesting they didn't send some this time. It does not ship with with an adapter or with a power source. None of them do. And this one is an aluminum casing. Most of their pedals are. This is as well. The exception seems to be their rocker pedals. This is the Viper, or the Mini Viper volume control, which is, again, one of my favorite pedals. But let's take a look at this pedal. They are billing this as a high gain distortion. Now, to call it a high gain distortion means that you expect there to be a lot of really high gain tone coming from it. So we're going to test that out. We're going to see if that theory or that description holds up. I've seen a few different demos of this pedal, and it varies depending on what people are running it into. But as far as controls, just a few things that are a little bit different about this. First of all, they didn't put any rubber feet on the pedal. Most of their pedals have a rubber backing that you either peel off or you find some solution if you want to put a Velcro on it. They didn't ship it. They did include feet in the packaging. These little, sorry, one sec here. A little strip of 3M rubber feet that you can stick on. For the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to use a piece of the package to stop it from sliding around on my desk. But you can see, you know, they have given that some thought, because one of the big complaints that I have with their mini pedals is this rubber footing is really kind of a pain to take off. So you can just put some gaffing tape and some Velcro if you want to fill that void, but otherwise it's kind of a pain to take it on and put it back off, or sorry, take it off and put it back on. Other things that are notable is that the input and output jacks are quite low on the body of the case. Typically they're about halfway to north. So they're a little bit lower on the body of the case. Don't know why. Just a design choice, I guess. And the treble, middle, and bass, in my opinion and in my experience, are a little bit reversed. So normally over here you'd have your bass, middle, and treble, and they put the treble on this side and the bass on this side. But the other controls are pretty standard. Treble, middle, bass, there's a gain knob and a volume knob. Now, the fact that it says gain and not distortion makes me think that this is going to play a little bit more like an overdrive. Okay, so we're gonna test it out. We're gonna run it into a VST, into an amp sim, and see if it's more of an overdrive or a distortion. It also has a gain switch. So in the first position, it's going to be more of a mid-gain boost. In the bottom position, according to their very interesting description, it's a high gain clipping boost. So we'll try it in both positions, but I'm more interested in seeing if it really plays out as a high gain distortion. That is a big claim, and they make the point here, and this is the directions. Or the description. It says, Donner Dark Horizon Distortion Pedal is a true analog circuit high gain distortion pedal. High gain distortion. So when that's what I think of this one. Okay, and you've seen me do demos of this. I will link to an actual playthrough where this is being used for soloing. You'll see the difference. That mimics the performance of British classic amplifier. So Marshall, probably. A powerful 3-band EQ ensures that you can dial it in regardless of your amplifier. I'm going to be using the Fortin Cali suite from Neural DSP as my amplifier, so we should get pretty good tone regardless. Any clean amp plus the Dark Horizon equals instant energetic, they put the quotes in, high gain. Instant energetic high gain. So let's see what they think high gain means. Let's check it out. Give me a minute to rig up. Okay folks, we're back. We're all rigged up. Got my Raven's Wing Dark Burst guitar with the bare knuckle brute force pickups. We are plugged in to Reaper. I'm playing through the Fortin Cali from Neural DSP, and my distortion is off, so this is my clean sound. Okay, I'm gonna ignore the little pops and crackles because there's something funky going on here that I need to condition out later. Anyway, so again, just the clean sound. So it's a tube amp that is just kind of right on the line of breaking up. So that's what this pedal over here is supposed to do. They say it's a high gain distortion, so let's check it out. I'm actually going to use their setting first of all for what they mark as modern high gain in the directions. So they've got the treble right up the middle, mids down a bit, bass a little south of heaven, and the gain pretty much all the way up. I'm going to keep this down in the high gain position. Okay, there's a little buzz. Let's check this out. I'm just tweaking my input gain. So I don't know that I would call that high gain, right? It's distorted. It's definitely overdriven. Is it high gain? You tell me. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that's a high gain distortion sound? To me, it sounds like the gain is dialed most of the way up on a Marshall. That's what it sounds like. So let's take everything to noon here. We're just going to split everything right up to noon. I'm going to leave the level just a little bit south of noon, just so we're not overdriving the clip. But let's just see. Okay. That's cool. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds really good. This little switch here takes it to kind of like a mid-gain boost. It just gives it a little bit of an edge. It's not as punchy. It's got a little bit more distortion, right? Yeah, if we take the gain down, it doesn't have a huge sweep, right? I mean, the gain's completely off. I don't know. It doesn't sweep as far as you would expect for something that's considered high gain to go from 0 to fully out with not a whole lot of difference between those two tones. So let's take a look. We'll just mess with the EQ a little bit here. I'm just going to take the gain back a little bit, drive up the treble, drive the bass a little bit higher. See. Okay, that's tasty, right? That's a little bit tastier. Okay, that's pretty punchy. We take that back. We'll just take the mids down a little bit more high end. See what we get. It's pretty punchy, like rhythm type gain, right? It's got some good crunch to it. They actually have one here that's called mid gain crunch, and it's just, I'm just going with the diagrams that Donner has included in the menu or in their instructions. So if you look at their mid gain crunch level, they actually have it at noon. I'm going to leave it a little bit south just because, right? And we'll just dial it in. So we're just past noon here and here. So it's right about there. So mid-gain crunch. Who uses mid-gain crunch? It doesn't give any instructions on where to put the switch, but I'm thinking there, right? That's pretty 80s sounding, Brown sound Marshall EVH kind of. I like it. I think this is meant to sound like a Marshall. I'm not sure if you could use it as a preamp. I haven't tested it as a preamp, but we're gonna. But when you compare it to this guy is a high gain distortion. Like it's like night and day between these two. But that is a very tight kind of crunchy sound. They have another setting here that I'm kind of laughing about a little bit. It's actually labeled trash metal, like TRASH, trash, not thrash. So score one for English, I guess. We'll just dial these. This is basically a scooped mid. Let's just see how different the scooped mid is. It's not that big of a difference. So when you think of a scooped mid, you think of having like a really hollow kind of section of mids, but let's go to the high gain switch now. That's not a big difference. So when they're saying in the manual that, you know, it opens up a world of tonal bliss, it's basically Marshall tone in a pedal. You maybe get away with overdrive, calling it an overdrive or a distortion overdrive, sort of like the OCD or the Joyo Ultimate Drive. In this case, I think we might be pushing the limits of what we call distortion at this stage. Right? It's not hairy. It's not a really fuzzy distortion. I'm just going to dime out the treble and bass and leave the gain all the way up, and let's just see what we can make it do. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second and I'm going to change guitars, and I want to see if there's a big difference if we switch to a single coil setup. I think it's great. I think it's really punchy, but let's just see what the single coils do. Okay, so we're on the Barnfire Burst guitar. These are Fishman Fluence single coils. I've got them in the classic sort of vintage 57 setup. I'm not going to go with the high gain or the high output popped control. We're just going to try this just as it is, as if you're playing a regular old Fender. Okay, so something weird going on there already. Just check my, yep, gain's okay. All right, so we're okay. That's what it sounds like. So it sounds like a single coil guitar. Through the Fortin. Now, same thing. High gain setting, thrash metal setting. Let's see what we got. Well. It's in drop D if you want to know. What do you think of that? It sounds like a hot rodded vintage amp, right? You know, yeah, let's take these back down a little bit here. I'm just going to cut some of the edge off, maybe some of the dirt, and just see what we get. Okay, bottom line, I don't know that I would build this as a high gain distortion. I think it is a very, very good tube toned drive. I think as an overdrive, it's pretty cool. It's got a really nice crunch to it. I don't think it stands alone for high gain kind of modern metal sounds. It's nice and punchy, but it really needs a little bit more sizzle, I think, on the top end. So if you like this demo, feel free to like and subscribe as we normally do. You can pick this pedal up from Amazon. The link is in the description below. That is my affiliate link, so if you use that link, it helps me out a little bit, but don't feel like you have to. You can also get it directly from donnerdeal.com. Check it out. It's a very good pedal. I don't think I buy the idea that it's a high gain distortion. This one, the Giant Metal, this is a high gain distortion. That one sounds like an amp emulator, an amp simulator. So try it out. See if you can squeeze some out. I'm going to test it a little bit more, sort of in front of and behind another distortion and also another overdrive, just to see if maybe I'm missing something in the mix. I think on its own, it's a very cool pedal for rhythm playing. I think it's a very good, it's kind of a bassline pedal. I'm not going into an amp. I have my PV behind me. Maybe I'll check it out on there as well. But in the meantime, like I said, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Remember to hit that bell for new content, and let me know what you think of this little space that I've got here. I put a lot of work into making sure that we're set up to do these things, and also get a nice clear background for you, so it's not all just my laptop in front of the camera. So let me know what you think of that too, all right? And we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.